Alright, this is gonna preface the video. I'm gonna mention a magical number 84 and later in the video, and you're gonna wonder where that's from. And that's the amount of units that's in the game that is based on this tier list that RUI made. I'm gonna count them all to double check, make sure there's 84. Alright, 1. We'll cross it out. Get a red X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, nice, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, that's 84. 84 units total in AirMech. Well, some of these you can't find in loadouts, and some of them are exclusive. Of course, like FF2000 and the creeps that are around about here. You can't, not everybody can obtain them, and not all of them can be put into your loadout, but in general, I'm gonna say the number 84 units total in the game. Those are your unit choices, and I'll be saying that number later in the video. And you'll understand why I keep bringing up that number, because there'll be a certain pattern that I will mention in the video. Alright, and that's the end of this part. On to the next part of the video. Okay, this is for the other portion of the video where I just go over through some things. Alright, then I'm on RUI's AirMech Power Ranking server right now, and that's gonna show like how active I am, like how much I feel active. I haven't been playing that much recently. I think in the past month I've dropped activity, and I really dropped it on a certain point. Let's see, log in. I want to find a certain thing. Yeah. Oh, it was earlier this month, so 2 weeks ago. That's when I really dropped it. Like I actually just stopped playing for the last 2 weeks. Like not even on Smurfs. Just right when RUI did this. When was it? Probably January 10th. He changed my status to active, which is really funny because I'm not actually active. I wasn't even active before the point that he gave it, and I just kept it for a joke. You see why I say that? Well, time for a new last login record. I tried doing that for a while, only got up to 6. I deleted the channel, which I posted the picture, and it was called #AirMech under the chat, but he deleted it to clean up more room for this server. And oh, another thing I want to go over, yeah, all the win screenshots. Alright, one thing that RUI did, what was it, when did he do it? Can I see it? Does he have it here? Oh, the tier list. He did a tier list thing, which he ranked a whole, which a meme stream. Alright, or just earlier this month then. And he found like, what, 84 units? Tier list, gathering units, yeah. Is that? And how many units the total? I think he found that there were 84 units types in AirMech, and I'm gonna show you another reason why I haven't been enjoying playing AirMech recently. When I'm thinking about AirMech, of course, I'm fine playing a couple matches of AirMech, but I do not like thinking about AirMech's gameplay at all, and I'm gonna start showing it. You still find mech variety, just like, what is it? 8. I think there's 8 mechs. Let me check it in game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mechs. There's 9 mechs, and you see a pretty good variety of the mechs played. But unit variety, there's like 84 units, I think, or around 80 units, and there's not a ton of variety. Like, I'm gonna go through all these victory pictures that are part of the power ranking, and we're gonna see a whole lot of tanks used. I mean, tanks in the picture because of how prolific they are. Tanks. I do not like the unit play in AirMech, or like thinking or watching it. A lot of it is static. Like, there's so much more potential if the units had more if you could control our command units more. Like, had a discussion in the actual AirMech server a while ago about like adding like attack move. It's where a unit would sit out of range if it comes sit at its maximum range if it finds a target while moving, instead of like continually pushing and suicide pushing. It would like add more, make the units less brain dead, and you could do more of the units since they wouldn't be putting themselves in situations where they die easily. You would essentially get more control of the units, and that's one reason why I think tanks are so prolific in AirMech, is because they're more condensed units. They cost more because they're individually a stronger unit, and that's easier to micromanage. Like, AirMech's at maximum can only carry 4 units, and so of course, and what's it like? At the start, you can only carry 2 to 3 jackals compared to tanks. Tanks, you can carry 2 longhorns. That's 12k in credits, and if you go into Goliaths, that's 14k in credit value of units, and Devastator 36,000k credit in units you can carry and your mech around, compared to infantry soldiers like 500 credits. Maximum you can carry 2,000 credits worth of units. You have so much more value in microing tanks than any other unit in the game, and the stat line of tanks too, very good. Most things don't cost effectively trade against tanks, except other tanks or a couple of the few 84 units. And now we're going to go through a lot of these screenshots and see just tons of tanks. Goliaths here, tanks dead here, a couple random units here. What's in this picture? Tanks here. This is an early game one, looks like. An early quit. Tanks, some Gaddy to support. Tanks are going to be used super often. These armadillos, busters. Tanks here, buster, that. Tanks are making up the core composition. More tank and Gaddy. Units that just sit around, hard to be active, 84 units, and you're building a turret that doesn't move, and tanks that move slow across the map. You're not even building tanks for their mobility, you're just building them for the cost-effective micro abilities, and sometimes their ability to move around, but not often. You're moving it. Glides here, fun unit, just sits on a pad, does nothing, but it gives a number that wins game. Pretty cool. Can't tell, it even says it's G, so quick game. I clicked it again on accident. Well, leveler, some infantry, don't see tanks. Looks, oh, it's a quit. It's a quit game, so you can see nothing there. What's here? I see tanks. Goliath under there, I think, or just, yeah, it is. Looks like Goliaths. Like, hard to tell in this picture. Tanks. Tank here. Tank. Oh my god, so many Goliaths, Jesus. 84 units, and so often you see tanks. And if the game goes on after like beyond 5 minutes, it's like only Goliaths. Dead tanks, you see there. A couple random Buckies for red, but those are dead blue tanks. There's a ratchet there, and probably a line of tanks, can't tell. Oh, I see armadillos. Yeah, there's armadillos in that picture. What's this? Looks like early. Tanks. Glides. Cheese of some sort. Lots of tanks. A lot of Goliaths. Goliaths. 84 units. And you keep seeing Goliaths. 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 Or fast game. Tanks. Ended quickly enough, so not enough time to reach Goliaths, but you see still a ton of tanks. Tank there. Tanks, definitely tanks used in this game. In this corner for the lulz. Can't tell that. Tanks. Tanks. Goliaths. 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 Gangster rush. Okay. That's different. And we're back to Goliaths. Goliath, thank you. Oh, just quit out. And not tanks, congratulations. Oh no, there's a tank push there right under his name. Tanks. Tanks. 84 units in this game. Don't see tanks. Lucky you. Tanks. Nope, can't see what's there. Vulcan Rush, pretty cool. And back to tanks again. Tanks, you see it? Tanks and a random gangster in there. Back to tanks, armadillos. Tanks, you see the tank lines. Goliaths. Don't see the tanks, but oh, I see the corner. There's tanks up there. Tanks pushing. Oh, click the same picture again, did I? I can't see here. Tanks. So many tanks. 84 units in this game, and everyone is using tanks. We got the tanks. And let's try 2v2. Let's not be biased. 2v2. Tanks, Goliaths, you see it? Goliaths and some longhorns. Tanks. Tanks. Dead tanks. A lot of tanks. More tanks. Tanks, yeah. Buster there. Goliath there. Tanks. Can't see here. Probably Bucky of some sort. Tank and Q. Oh, fun unit again. Leveler and turrets. Can't tell. Can't tell. Can't tell. What are these games? Can't tell. Can't tell. Oh, a lot of tanks here. When there are units in these pictures, it's often just tanks. Tanks here. 84 units in this game. 84 unit types. Tanks. And yeah, we're only seeing tanks. 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 If there's one cynical reason this server, good reason this server exists, to show off how prolific tanks are in this game. 84 different unit types, yet you're only seeing tanks. I see Goliath down there. Tanks. Goliaths. Oh, I think I saw a Dillo. But whatever. More tanks. Look at all the tanks. Love seeing tanks. Tanks. Shooter there. Congratulations. That's not a tank. Tanks. Tanks. Just tanks in here. Yeah, no spoiler tag here. No, can't tell. Tank there. And it's a custom map. Congratulations. Map doesn't stop you from just building tanks. Tanks. Yep, tanks at the fort down there. Can't tell. Tanks. Is that? Nope, blind, just butchers. Tanks again. Tanks. 84 units in this game, and you keep seeing tanks. And that should sum up why I'm bored and haven't been playing that much AirMech recently. It's just that thinking about AirMech's gameplay, no, it's super boring to think about. And don't know if I'm going to put this part before or after the section where I go over some replays and show off really how these 84 units, also known as just tanks, are being used in actual gameplay and how boring it is to watch. Credit to the casters who are able to bring the focus on the players controlling the mechs and make it seem interesting that way, but that's not how I'm seeing AirMech right now, and why I'm not really enjoying playing right now. Tanks. It's because of just tanks. AirMech has 84 different units, yet you mostly just see tanks, and tanks aren't really used in a very interesting or constantly interesting way because the unit control of this game is pretty basic. You don't have attack move, and you don't have target fire to focus down units. Try playing modern RTS without those. Just selecting and moving units around. You find the experience really weird or unsatisfying unit control. Like I think for satisfying unit control, you need you need some form of autonomy for the units where where it's not smart to have a unit sitting immobile doing nothing, and that's better. That's the better thing for the unit to be doing instead of moving around. Just because you can't control the unit and save it, like you need to be there for the mech to babysit it. If you want to be able to make a unit active, a move, attack move, just stop at your max range so you're not like moving into a concave and just being brutally destroyed. Like sending two units, 2 tanks to pick off 1 tank. Boom. That's if you can do that without a lot of mech control. That's a lot more freedom for you to go around. It might be more interesting for strategy and stuff, but whatever. I'm just rambling around. AirMech's 8 to 9 years old now, and I don't think the core gameplay loop is that great. More tanks. Rebel Rush. I think it's a gameplay problem with AirMech and why it didn't really take off. Like it's like a high retention rate. Besides the lack of content, it's the core gameplay loop. Look at all these tanks. You have 84 units in a game. Put that on like advertising. There are 84 units in the game, yet there's 1 unit type tanks that you play around with and you focus gameplay about. There's no the other unit types that strategies that you could go for of them are pretty linear and basic. Just mass them up and rush them and try to win the game quickly with them. The only unit that you can have like a long-term game plan for, like the 5 to 10 minutes you play the game, is tanks. If you want to play a 5 to 10 minute game, generally you have to do it off with tanks. I'm still going around doing here tanks. Yeah, that should be it. That should be it for this part. I don't want to continue going long. I should have proven my point now. Alright. Here's a final treat if you stayed and watched the entire video. I'm going to probably put links to these in the description. These are just some documents I was working on for AirMech a couple months back. First one I'm going to show is an AirMech strike review. This was, what is it, April 24, 2020, so half a year ago, I guess? Half a year ago. I was already writing opinions about, I titled it an AirMech strike review. Not like a game review, whether to play or not, but trying to detail and brainstorm like why AirMech didn't take off. And that's started the thought train of thinking about AirMech. Hasn't really gone anywhere, has it? 8 years. And didn't really take off. Was it a developer issue? Player issue? Content issue? I don't know. I don't know what I was mentioning here. Probably a state of the game and state of what was in 2012, it seemed. I think maybe I was going to eventually mention Power Carbon. This was their first mobile RTS game, of course. I mean, they were working on, they made Fat Princess before making AirMech. We know that for a fact, that's for sure. But that wasn't a mobile RTS game, was it? Mm-hmm. So I think in this, if I continue to write this and not stop in April 2020, I probably would have mentioned gameplay and content issues. Did I mention that in this? Not sure. But content, it's free to play. You only get like a dozen or so maps. Custom map browser is pretty bad. You do have like 70 units to use. That's fair. That's fair for content, is it? The content loop I don't think is that good. The gameplay loop, that is. Gameplay loop, if you saw the other video and the other part of this video. This stinks. The top tier gameplay. The quote unquote right way to play the game. Big top tank blob. Big tank wall. Most of the units just sit there doing nothing. Half the game's units do nothing. Alright, other documents. This was an AirMech strike guide. I was trying to write a guide to help people be more competitive and stuff. This was the current drafts. I think these 5 and 4 are blank. Yeah, 5 and 4 are blank. One was going to be an index and intro. Yep. I create this guide as in 2020. AirMech Strike Lax is an up-to-date competitive PvP guide. I was trying to write and draft this up and some various things. Mention some things about gameplay. The gameplay. Oh, the economy based on outposts. You have more outposts, you have more income, more upkeep. You just win by numbers. Oh, and then how things play out in practice, yada yada. Then tanks. I describe tanks. The stats of tanks, probably how you can control it in AirMech unit control. And I wrote mechs. Let's talk about mechs. Snowballing. Yep, so the snowballing. It's really how to master this tank gameplay of doing nothing. I wrote these guides to help with that. They just made me think about AirMech more and more, and how much certain aspects I don't like. Looks like this guide goes over UI bits and certain controls like Q heal, the auto repair. That's, yeah, you probably don't notice. Jump. Some a jump tier list. That's funny. Talk about build queues in here. In the end, I'll probably link these docs, the economy. I'll link the docs in the description of the video. But if you stay to the end of the video, you get to see this little treat up stuff, unit positioning, unit ordering. Yep, I wrote all this as a guide, but I didn't really stop working on it. August 2020, September 2020. And then to start talking more tanks, September 17. Last update, far from the guide. For that sandbox impression. You get like 70 units to put in loadout, but you only use tanks. Very cool. And you build out your strategy and gameplay around tanks. Very cool. Tank macro is the competitive gameplay style. Yes, I will talk about that. Yes, talk about using tanks. Very cool. Look at how many pages I have to write about using tanks. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. I wrote and I did test the numbers. Oh my god, why did I put so much effort? This is why. This is what made me think more about AirMech. Just writing this, trying to help make something for the make a PvP guide. Just made me think about all the bad aspects of AirMech and parts of the gameplay I don't like that stuck for 8 years. Carbon had 8 years to potentially do something and change up their gameplay more to make it more interesting and make the gameplay look better, but nope. And that should be it for this treat. What else? Oh, this was another earlier version before I even wrote these guides. I tried to make a ranking of some sort. Did strategy. Look at this. It'll load. Come on. It'll show every unit and breakups. We do some breakdowns of them. You see the pros and cons of these units. Yes. Let's try to be a bit fair to all these. See traits and stuff from certain units. You see certain notes. Upgrade. Yes, upgrade tank. Oof, I should have put an upgrade there. But I didn't. I mean, this one was sooner. August 30th, 2020. Nice. And this, like this number stuff, that was a work in progress. I never finished that. Never finished it, really trying to build up the calculations for that. I didn't really find a good calculation for it. Those were some numbers to help contribute, but this description stuff is there. This does the pros and cons breakdown. I did it for every unit in the game. This was for the first page of tanks, this is the second page of tanks, busters. And this is before I started even calling busters an upgrade to Longhorn. Pretty cool. Vehicles now, a vehicle page for vehicles, and you just see I put actual special symbols here. Yada yada, more stuff. Even infantry did here. Get it here. Yeah, trying to do some calculation with this, like strong attack and low. This was a copy paste, I believe. So those random numbers are wrong. More units. I go over every unit. Of course, I have a link for you to check this out yourself and see what I did. Pictures for pictures I use as a thing, and that should be it. Yeah, that looks like it. I'll post this in the description of the video, but that's it. Thanks for watching this video. Congratulations. You made it to the actual end.